Hey, creative writing. It's Miss Smith back for week 3 of e-learning. Congratulations, you made it through 2 weeks. This is exciting. Yay! Yes, you will survive. You will make this. We are doing this. Yay. All right, so we are continuing on with our module on fan fiction. Woo! Okay, first of all, a lot of you guys have already set up your accounts on fan fiction and you have followed me. Okay, Tiger Journalism 20, as you know. Okay, that means that if I have followed you back, you would have gotten a notification that says Tiger Journalism 20 is now following you. If you have done that, you have gotten your points for that assignment, okay? If you have not done that, or you're sitting there going, Miss Smith, what are you talking about? You need to go back and look at the last 2 weeks of assignments. There's some things you guys need to catch up on, okay? So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's time to catch up. And by the way, if you are missing assignments, and some of you guys are, time to go back, catch up with the assignments, okay? Because we're going to go full speed ahead now, and I don't want you guys to fall behind, okay? So first things first, what are you doing this week? Publishing! Yay! You guys get to become published writers this week. So you're going, Miss Smith, wait a second, how am I going to do that? Well, it's really simple. You should have been taking notes and thinking about what you're going to write this week. That was last week's assignment. So this week, you're going to write your first chapter and you're going to publish it. Now, the easiest way, the absolute easiest way, is to literally open a Word document on your computer and just type up your entire story. So you might just start with chapter 1 or your prologue or however you're starting your story. Whatever you're going to post is your first official post. Just start it up. Chapter 1, and write. Go. Click, 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 click. Save. Now, you can keep that same file. Just start a new page, chapter 2. When you're ready to go, click, 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 click. Chapter 3. Click, 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 click. All right. So I have that. I have a Word document on my desktop, literally, that I have started. I've already done chapter 1, and I've done about half of chapter 2 already. Okay. So next thing you do, now this, pay attention. And again, by the way, please, please, please come to our Zoom meeting on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. I will actually do a screen share with you guys so you guys can see how I will upload chapter 2 so you can see how it works. I'll even show you how to do it all so you can actually see it. But feel free to explore. It's really easy. There's not a lot you can do to mess this up. So if you want to go ahead and put me on one of the little tiny screens over there, you know what I'm saying? And then follow along, on your fanfiction.net account. You can kind of follow along as I'm doing this, okay? So the biggest thing is you're going to sign into your fanfiction.net and you're going to click on your name in the top right corner, okay? Mine says, of course, Tiger Journalism 20. So click on that and up comes my account settings information. You want to go down to where it says publish. Now, this is really key. When you go to publish and you click on publish, it's going to open up a drop-down menu. First thing under that is going to say about, and that is going to explain essentially how fan fiction runs its publishing of stories. It's going to talk about what documents are, what the document manager is, how they do story guides, how do you add chapters, how do you edit things, how do you go through, how do you create a new story. But the biggest thing I want you guys to make sure you do is go ahead and read rules and guidelines. That's the first thing that you want to do, because you cannot publish a story until you agree to their rules and guidelines. That includes things like community etiquette, like making sure the fact that you are not you're not doing silly things. You're not, you make sure that you spell check your stuff. You are using text formatting. You are, it actually looks like a viable story, for example, that you're not plagiarizing things, that you're not going to leave nasty comments on people, that you're not going to use inappropriate anything at all. There's a whole things of things that are not allowed to use. And then also to think about what your story might be rated, for example. There's a few different levels. K, for example, means like basically your little sister could read this, what you're writing. If she's able to read, she could read it. And there's nothing unusual about it. K plus, for example, is the next level up, and that's more like your little sister if she's like in 4th and 5th grade. That's more of, there might be some a little bit more, maybe some like, action or maybe some heavier themes. Then the next level up is a fiction rated T, and that's basically like 13 and up, and that really contains a little bit more adult themes and more maybe some language. Like if you are going to use some language, for example, that might be a good ranking to start at. Just thinking more kind of just protecting little ears. And then the next level up, of course, is fiction M, and I've already said you're not allowed to do that. So don't even think about it. You can see, however, what is listed under M, so you know that like that's a line you don't want to cross. So definitely T or below. K plus T is generally where most of the stories fall anyway, so it's going to be easier. So just start thinking in your mindset like that is what you're going to do and what you're going to write on. And then also just take note, there are certain authors that do not allow fan fiction to do their writing to do different things like that. So just pay attention. As long as you're not using any of their work for your fan fiction, you're good to go. Okay. So then once you say, yes, I've read that, click and approve, and then it will let you do this. So before you even start a new story, however, is you want to go to what's called Doc Manager. And Doc Manager, what you're going to do is you're going to upload your first chapter. And you're going to label it however you want to label it. I just, of course, do mine chapter 1. And so then next chapter will be chapter 2. Now, the easiest way to do this, yes, you can do a file upload if you have it separate. But if you like me and I do it all in on one document, there's actually a copy and paste button. So the copy and paste, literally all you have to do is copy it from your Word document and paste it onto their document. And it automatically comes in an RTF or a rich text format, so it can do all the bolding and italicize and everything. As long as it looks good on that, make sure it's okay. Format should always be set to story. Don't bother with DocX. That's not something to deal with right now, okay? And then when you're done and you've labeled it and you've uploaded it all, click Submit Document. You have not published it yet. You have just uploaded it to your file on FanFiction. That is basically what you've done. Step 1. Okay. After you've downloaded that, uploaded that rather, you are going to start a new story. And what you're going to do is you're going to figure out your story type. Are you going to do a regular story or are you going to do a crossover? Now, crossovers are basically when you take one genre and you cross it over into the universe of another genre. So you might use, let's see, one of the things I saw recently, there was Star Wars crossed over into Harry Potter, which, okay, whatever works for you. And if you're really familiar with two things or you're trying to debate about two different books or genres, that can be an easy way to get all the points across. But there are people who don't like crossovers, that doesn't work for them. Totally fine. I, of course, just selected my category, and what you, of course, start with is you start with whether it's going to be a book, an anime, a cartoon, a game, play, a TV show, whatever it is, and then from there, then you find exactly what yours is. So, for example, if I'm looking right here and it says select category and I go down to movies, for example, everything pops up and there's 1,000. I mean, they've got everything in here. I'm just The Italian Job, Joe versus the Volcano, The Matrix, Mission Impossible, just scrolling through. Stuart Little, yes, there's a million. Suicide Squad, look at that one right there. So there's all sorts of different things you can choose, whichever you do. So that way you know that when yours gets posted, it will automatically get uploaded to that particular genre. So you'll see for mine, for example, automatically got uploaded to the genre and the book that I chose. So when you're done picking out your new story, you will actually do things like choose, you will actually do your title. You will actually write a title for your story, which may be hard for you. And don't worry, you can always change it later. You will need to write a summary. Two things I want to say about the summary. Yes, you are limited to a certain amount of characters. Pay attention to that. You do not want to go over that limit, but also just writing like 4 words, people are not going to read your story. So get kind of this is essentially like you're kind of clickbaiting here. What are you kind of alluding to? Now, if people are on that board, it's because they know this story. So you don't have to introduce them to these characters. I'm writing about a particular book, for example, on mine. People who are on that board know these characters. The main characters, they know them like the back of their hand. I do not have to say, well, you know, come meet so and so and so and so. I'm like, no, I immediately dive into, this is where my story is, this is what's happening, this is the struggle, this is going on. The other thing that you select essentially is what language. Obviously, choose English. That's always the easiest way to do this. And then you get to search like kind of like categories, like what you're going to focus on. So are you doing drama? Are you doing family? Are you doing hurt, angst? Are you doing friendship? Are you doing romance? Are you doing action? Like, think about the things, and you can only pick two, but you can still do more. Just you want to like kind of fine tune it, because certain readers are looking for certain things. So you're going to pick your rating, your language, your genre, so to speak. And all of that is on basically creating your new story. So you get to do all that, and we still have not published one thing yet, okay? And once you have submitted that and you're like, yes, I'm good, so then you are going to manage your story. Okay. So from there, then you are going to do all sorts of things. One of the things you're going to do from there, once you go to manage your story, this is where you can continue to edit later. Okay. You can select a cover image. Okay. Maybe you created something on, I mean, some of you guys are super creative. Go ahead, upload that. If you want to do something else, if you do not select an image, it will use whatever you have for your regular avatar you've chosen. Now, if you have not chosen an avatar, it will just be like a blank, okay? Which is totally fine. There are people who have really popular stories that don't ever use the images. How do you do that, by the way? It's under Image Manager on the left side there. You can find where it says Image Manager and then Manage Upload, and then you can upload a whole bunch of pictures and then pick one for each, whatever you want to do. You can change your avatar, you can change your thing as many times as you want. It doesn't matter. So back to publishing. And you're going to manage stories again. You are going to make sure under the content and chapters, you're going to make sure you basically, you're going to post a new chapter. Basically, you're going to upload and you're going to select, go back and select your chapter 1. Now, once you have uploaded it, by the way, the time between pressing yes, please upload to the time that actually appears on the board, now they say it could be upwards of 4 to 8 hours. Mine appeared about 40 minutes or so. Okay. I know that some people appear almost instantly. Some people, it does take 4 hours. It depends on when you're uploading. So don't be like nervous if your thing doesn't appear right away. Don't worry. If it says on your managing side that it's uploaded, then it's uploaded. Just give it some time. Then go to the boards and keep checking. And then also do yourself a favor and look at it. Go ahead and press the preview button, because if it looks like it's right and it's formatted right, because there are times where you got formatting issues where it's like not in RTF, the rich text format, and it looks like it's got all sorts of extra scribbles or it's way too spaced out. Go ahead and edit it. You want to make it as readable as possible. So once you have published, sit back and watch it. Because the coolest thing will start to happen is that people will start wanting to follow it. They will comment. You will get reviews. People will be going, okay, click follow, click follow, click follow. That's totally fine. That's totally normal. And that is the coolest thing to happen. So give it a moment. So that's what you're doing. Any questions? You guys are all pretty smart, so I'm sure if you just play it around, it pretty much walks you through. And again, under publish, under about, there's all the things to show you all of that, and each one of those things, basically click it through. There's a whole bunch of directions. They're really good with making sure to explain everything. And if you have any questions at all or you get stuck, you message me down here, comment below, or message me on Etsy, or come to my open office hours on Tuesday at 11, or come to our Zoom meeting on Wednesday at 1, okay? So we will walk this through, and if you have any other questions at all, let me know. I'm super excited to read your stories. So, and yes, by the way, like I said, I have published my first chapter. So if you have any questions at all, you can see what I've done, and you can see how I've done that, and you can see where the direction I'm going with my story. So it's not really happy, actually. So might be interesting. So that's my big thing. That's this week's assignment. Big directions there. Again, I want you to start thinking now. So go ahead and start, publish that first chapter, and then go ahead and start working on your second and third chapters. You will need the next 2 chapters published by the next Friday. So you're going to be doing at least 2 to 3 chapters basically a week. The story should be, and I just aim, by the way, about 10 chapters in total. You may want to do more later, but for this project, think 10. Okay, so just be thinking ahead, like how much you're going to do and what you're going to do. So that's your big ultimate goal. Now, if you want to like space it out instead of just uploading 2 at a time, you may want to think about like next week uploading chapter 2 by Wednesday and then by Friday. You know what I'm saying? You see, we're going to kind of space it out, however, Tuesday and Friday. Pick some posting days. You may even want to list that under your chapter when you post, like I'll be posting on here every Tuesday and Friday, or whatever you want to pick, or maybe you do Friday and Monday, whatever makes sense for you, however you want to do that. But yeah, and then definitely please continue to read more in your genre. Comment on other people's, go ahead and review, favorite, follow, whatever works for you. Get to know the community. They're great people on here, and they are some of the most encouraging, amazing people. So please, 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 please reach out to each other, reach out to other people, and just go for it, guys. This is your chance to be a published author right now. Seriously, it's the coolest thing. It's the coolest feeling in the world. I cannot even begin to tell you. You will love it. All right, any more questions? You know how to contact me. See you guys Wednesday. Bye.